Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Breakdown with Renmar. Blacklist International went undefeated in Week 6 of MPL Philippines Season 14. Let's try to break down and analyze how that happened, starting with the drafts. These are all of the drafts of Blacklist International, and I'm sure you notice a trend by now. Roamer, mid laner, and jungler were prioritized in the first phase of all of the drafts. Against Falcons AP Bren in game number 1, they went with a double support, double healing type of roamer mid laner tandem. We call that the UBE, the ultimate bonding experience. But then they went into a roamer utility support type mid combo in game number 2 with the Tigreal and then the Faramis, and then with Blacklist and RSG they just went for the Tigreal and the Loi straight up. So in this meta game, we've been saying it for many weeks now, whoever wins the center of the map will pretty much win the game. Whoever gets the more favorable roam, mid, jungle combination and matchup will win the game. The X factor will come alongside the EXP lane pick, because if ever the matchup isn't favorable in the center of the map, roam, mid, and jungle, a good EXP lane pickup will usually turn things around. That's why we see Terizla, Edith prioritized with how well they can frontline alongside being able to dish out damage and set up. They are the secondary roamer and in some situations the main frontliner in the objective team fights. Good crowd control too, so EXP should cover for what the roam, mid, and jungle lack. For Blacklist International, you can see that they prioritized mainly two junglers. Well, you could say just one. The Nolan for MP the King and the Hayabusa in one game against RSG Philippines. One of the other main priorities for Blacklist International in their roam mid combo is the idea of map control, vision, crowd control. If you look at all of their picks, starting first against Falcons AP Bren, the Matilda and Faramis can roam around together quickly, and even though checking shrubs for them might be dangerous at times, especially up against a Vixana and Lolita, they have abilities in their kit that can either save their lives or allow them to escape. We also know how well Faramis and Matilda can roam around the map. If you look at the lineups that have the Tigreal, and with that, you can see they have a great source of crowd control. Perks was on fire with all of the Tigreal games that he played in week number 6. And you have a great setup surprise tool. If you're not careful, the implosion is an almost instant win because of how long the crowd control lasts with that ability. You just need to be able to time it well and hope a little bit that your opponents will sort of get overexcited with diving, with so many frontline divers in this meta right now. And with the Loi pickup, you get vision, you get map control, and a lot of crowd control and good damage as well if the opposing team doesn't have the right diver to take down that Loi quickly. And in this metagame, there are a lot of divers, but with how the usual, how do I say this, flow of team fighting usually goes, as long as the Loi isn't fronting too hard, most Lois are difficult to catch, especially when they have a Purify on them. So that's very clear now what Blacklist International wants in the center of the map. In the side lanes, they really just want to get the better matchup. They want to get picks that will either be annoying, round out what they need in the lineup. And for the case here of their gold laner, almost all of their gold laners that they pick up have some sort of escape mechanism or survivability, strong amounts of burst damage in the case of the Nathan, great scaling into the mid to the late game, and in the case of the Claude and the Moskov, good map control with how well they can take down towers, escape, survive, and put pressure on the map even though they're not in the team fights as much, and maybe they're just spending more time splitting the map. So to sum it all up, roamer, mid laner, and jungler are prioritized in the first phase by Blacklist International, looking for map control, vision, and burst, crowd control as well, while their side laners are put into the second phase to maximize the chances of them getting a favorable EXP lane gold lane matchup and getting picks that will help round out their drafts. If you're still watching, thank you so much for giving me your time and attention. Hopefully you've been enjoying all the content we've been releasing for the past few weeks, and if it doesn't trouble you, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel, click that bell icon so that you know when new videos are up, and share the video if you liked it. And if it ever gets to the point where you're not happy anymore with the output and you feel like you don't want to subscribe anymore, no shame in that as well. No pressure. Let's just continue and go get back to the rest of the video, okay? So with a good understanding and framework of how Blacklist International may have approached their drafting, let's look at what they did in the game. So against Falcons Bren, we'll roll it up from sequences starting from game number 1. At this point in the game, Blacklist International are actually going to be giving this turtle, because a few moments before this, Haji and Blacklist fought a skirmish wherein the nether realm of the Faramis was used. And for Blacklist International, one of their main conditions for their team fight is to have that nether realm available for them. So what Blacklist International does is actually quite great. So you have Lord JM doing what we call aurahan. Aurahan is just another way to say I'm just showing myself, I'm, you know, making it look like I'm a threat to my opponents. But if you look at how the map is positioned, of course, Blacklist International will not be able to go in here. So their play is send the Nolan to the jungle. So MP the King is going to be invading the purple buff here of Kyle TZ, but Falcons Bren read this because Super Marco is staying back and watching out. They don't have any info on the jungler. It doesn't look like Blacklist to contest this, but they're still going to play it safely. So as we play out the sequence, you see that not only will Blacklist International give up this turtle, they get farm and pressure into the mid lane. Oheb double lanes and get some minion wave there with the help of Haji and Perks. They're going to fast clear that. Lord JM will be at a safe distance to get away if ever. The jungle of Falcons Bren, they already know, is getting pressured, and now they're gonna have to rush and try to defend their purple buff, which they will not be able to, and Blacklist International will back off. Now, this sequence will continue actually, and because Falcons Bren now they're got their jungle invaded, they're gonna be looking for a trade. They're gonna try to get something out of the invade. So they try and go pressure top, but then minion waves just aren't favorable. If they had minion waves already crashing into the gold lane, then they most likely would have gone for a dive. There are 3 members of Blacklist International there, so it's just gonna be tough for Falcons Bren to get anything. So this will still continue, and now we're gonna look at MP the King getting his jungle pathing towards the bottom of the map. And this is well coordinated by Lord JM and MP the King and Blacklist International as a whole. Because now what you get is the high loss going into the mid lane, the Nolan going into the bottom. So lanes are covered. You get to put a little bit of pressure onto the mid and put presence in the mid, and more importantly in the long run, as we'll see with this sequence, is that they'll have the mid protected. Their side lanes are good, they're covered. You have a presence in the mid lane helping handle minion waves. MP the King will try to duel it out with Flap TZ here, but he's not gonna get anything. He won't be able to clear the minion waves there, and he'll be going back to base. Don't forget, past 5 minutes, the junglers will no longer have that effect on them where they get less resources from the minion waves. So don't forget, don't be so static. From time to time, you can send your EXP laner or gold laner or whoever to the center of the map. Have your jungler cover the opposite side lane as long as the timers are good, and then go and continue your sequences. Because of the movements that Blacklist International did, it allowed Perks to help out Oheb in the top lane, break down the tower, and make sure that Oheb will beat Super Marco in lane, building their first advantage. And the domino effect of everything that Blacklist International International did in this time window of like 2 to 3 minutes will be felt for until Blacklist International finally takes the lead completely. So after taking down the tower up top, you see that Oheb got to clear another lane. Now he's gonna be moving center, and now they're gonna switch. With that tower down, now you're gonna want to get this tower down. So the Nolan alongside the Matilda will rush to the bottom of the lane, and that leads eventually to map-wide pressure for Blacklist International for the next turtle. As you can see here, Oheb and Marco have now switched lanes for Turtle 3 so that they can go back and focusing on farming, but because of the earlier rotation did by Blacklist, the tower in the bottom lane is about to go down now. Flap TZ will get taken down quickly in this turtle attempt because Blacklist International, with the lineup that they have, and every time they have the Nolan, they have one condition. Whoever we see in the front line, most of the time it will be the EXP laner. Take him down right away. Let's build our advantage. If we'll have to use the Nolan ultimate to burst, then we'll burst. Just make sure you can dash in, and most importantly, save the ultimate of the Faramis, because that's going to be your big ticket. So they dive onto Flap TZ and immediately they have advantage. Oheb will be able to take down the tower, and now it's pressure. Blacklist will have to slow things down a little bit because MP the King is brought close to 50% while Cal TZ is still healthy. Falcons AP Bren can still walk away with this turtle. So they're gonna wait, they're gonna bide their time, and you see now the pressure being delivered by Oheb into the bottom lane. He's still continuing clearing minion waves. The next minion wave will still take time, so Super Marco will now have his eyes set in joining the team fight. Perks, just the right amount of time, is able to build now the Flask of the Oasis, meaning that they'll be able to have a little bit more shield and effect coming out from the Matilda. Ogwen will load up the Numenon Blast. That's a good area. However, it's a little bit too early because it's still at around 6,500 for that turtle. There are guiding wind effects up for 3 members of Blacklist International, and it'll be Lord JM to take it. Lord JM takes the guiding wind, and because of that, he's now in a good spot to pester the main 3 of Falcons AP Bren. He's the high loss, so he is at the perfect spot to be annoying for the members of Falcons AP Bren. MP the King avoids a Numenon Blast, which gets cancelled early because of the stun from the high loss. Haji will be able to sidestep it as well. Eternal Guard is brought up. The ultimate of the Moskov is not gonna hit anyone, so Super Marco can't join. The Eternal Guard is a little bit too early. It just knocks up MP the King, but doesn't do pretty much anything substantial in the fight other than just deal a little bit of damage. Lord JM is already zoning out Kyle TZ, which forces Kyle TZ to Retribution early. Look, 35 already on cooldown, 949 health, MP the King still has his Retribution. It was just a lot of small things done in a time window that led up to Blacklist International being in a very good position to get this turtle with a little bit of contention, yes, but with them at an advantage, opening up their game-defying moment wherein with Oheb pressuring the mid, with Flap TZ coming back, he's forced to respond here. Because Kyle TZ was taken down early and Blacklist are in a good position to chase, they will chase. Haji will get a triple kill from this sequence, uses the flicker, great job by Perks, and because Oheb was already here, he was able to entropy in, deal damage to Few, who was able to flicker away to a slightly safer distance, but eventually with the aggression showed by Perks and Blacklist International and Haji, he will get the triple kill. Super Marco will be brought to a dangerous situation, forcing the flicker out of him as well. A massive win for Blacklist International in 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, they took control of the game with good macro, with good understanding of timings, map control, taking down major objectives, being objective based. This is the signature and classic Blacklist International that we know that spikes up at around 4 minutes to 8 minutes. That spike comes from good playing of the minion waves and the map. Now let's go into Game 2 of Falcons AP Bren versus Blacklist International, highlighted by the heroics of Perks the Patient. It is not an amazing sounding moniker, but I mean, what else? He's so patient, and it's his patience and it's his improvement that really gave Blacklist International that big boost in game number 2. By the way, fun fact, in case you missed the interview that we had with Coach Bon Chan in the Infinix Game Tambayan post-game segments, it was he himself who mentioned that he really spent a lot of time helping Perks improve. In his own words, he compiled together like a compilation of clips for Perks to watch of right timings of roamers. He got clips of various roamers. I don't know if it's just in the Philippines or all throughout the world that have really good timing, because he himself mentioned that sometimes it felt like when Perks was playing, he would be forcing things when his point was just let the game flow naturally, let it come to you, and you will find the opening. That was sort of the idea that Coach Juan was going for, and dang, you can really see it here against Falcons AP Bren. So if you look at the sequence here, you see that because of this little skirmish in the bottom lane, Blacklist International will sacrifice the turtle, meaning that they're gonna look for a post-objective finish. You see that the Tigreal Perks is actually already there. So now Blacklist International will just try to make the most out of what the roamer has provided. Because of the skirmish into the bottom lane, Flap, TZ, and Few are in the red. Lord JM isn't the healthiest, but he is still an R-Lot. He can get that back with vengeances. They still have the Nether Realm of Haji. MP the King is on the way. So if you're Blacklist, you're gonna want to commit this. Look at what Perks does. Ooh, see that? Happened in a blink, but damn. Oh my goodness, Perks. See, he's gonna go dash forward. It's immobilized. He waits, bides his time. And the implosion, he gets 2. The initial one only gets Ogwen. Kyle TZ went by closer, so that when Perks went from being here to here, Ogwen is still stunned, and now Kyle TZ is still stunned as well. That was foreshadowing for what Perks will be doing in this game number 2. In the last sequence that we highlighted, Blacklist International minimized the effect of that Lord push that Falcons AP Bren got. Remember, they got those big pickoffs, but Falcons AP Bren countered back. They were able to get down 2, if I'm not mistaken, 3 members of Blacklist, but the Lord was not able to go into the inhibitor turret in the bottom lane. As you can see here, it was taken down at this part of the map, and that happened around 8 minutes ago. So it's 8 minutes of Blacklist International surviving and holding on and trying to punish any initiations Falcons AP Bren would want to do. And punish is exactly what they did in this winning sequence here. You can see Ogwen is here, commits to conceal. He committed one of the plays that you can do as a roamer, that if this shrub is not covered, then the roamer of the opposing team can go here, 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 surprise. They'll be able to initiate and you get taken down in this spot there. But Perks was already there. He was waiting, seeing, and covering. So with that, Ogwen and Perks spot each other. Perks gets to knock back Ogwen, and they've already bursted down the Edith, meaning that she's going to be forced to use the ultimate soon. Get that Primal Wrath up. Now, Flap TZ initiates and is only able to knock up 1. Gets a knock up Lord JM. They're comboing down an R-Lot, so now they're trading for the opposing frontliners. But one frontliner is healthy and in a perfect spot. Perks on his Tigreal, seeing 3 members of Falcons AP Bren all close up together. Watch what Perks and Lord JM does here. Perks goes in, flicker, implosion, already committed. You see that? Stun, stun, stun. Continue it. And that's a 3-man implosion, right? Lord JM, Haji uses the Nether Realm to increase their chances of winning that fight. Ogwen forced to use the Primal Wrath here. Yes, he decided to take the long way around. Lord JM goes to the back. Man was here. He flickered here. Takes down Few. Or brings Few low. Now, Super Marco in a dangerous position. Super Marco forced to blazing duet backwards to take down Lord JM. Winter Crown. Buys time. Few down. MP the King even gets the Lord. Blacklist International will just have to clear minion waves. 2 members of Falcons AP Bren down. Continue it. And now here you are at the base with Falcons AP Bren desperately trying to stop the push and advance of Blacklist International, and Blacklist International will be able to take down FCAP from this sequence here with a great team fight. And if I'm not mistaken, again, is that another ultimate by Perks that he uses here? Nah, it was just really damn good team fighting from Blacklist. Just get a good knockback though onto Flap TZ, and that's how Blacklist International took down Falcons AP Bren. Last 2 sequences here, and we're gonna look again at how just great Perks is. You see that RSG Philippines will want to dive this tower, and again, right call. Nothing wrong with diving the tower in this scenario. Light will use the Avatar of Guardian. Lord JM brought low. Again, just wait for Perks to turn things around. He's waiting. He's waiting. Look at that. Bang. Waits for everyone to come in before he uses the implosion. Yeah, Light's there. Yeah, Kusei's there. Not gonna get Kusei. He does get the other 2 who decided to go in. Oh, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, actually no. Kusei was actually also sucked into the ultimate. Ooh, he was brought in. Yeah, it reached him. That's 4. That 3, yeah, that's 4 that he got. And if you're wondering why Aqua didn't use and Kusei didn't use their purifies right away, so check this out. See there? They're already stunned. But Aqua, Kusei, not using Purify yet. Now they use it. But that's because now they're CC immune. Now they avoid the possibility that they'll get knocked back by the Tigreal. Because if you use your Purify too early in the implosion, yeah, you'll get break free of the implosion, but Perk still has Flicker. There's a chance also that you guys are still gonna get knocked back trying to run away. Big win here for Blacklist International on the back of great patience, again, by Perks the Patient. It sounds old school, but I like it. Oh, and because of that, look at that. RSG Philippines will lose 2 members. MP the King will get a big one. Hayabusa is already snowballed. 6-0-1. Irad opens up the map, but with a Hayabusa like that, yeah, it's gonna be tough for RSG Philippines to continue fighting like this. And now the final Lord fight to win it all. The infamous, or maybe famous, long shadow of the Hayabusa, courtesy of the Lo Yi. So, you see that the Lo Yi will cast Diversion in the bottom lane, and MP the King will leave behind his shadows. I don't know if he calculated it to be exactly there, but hey, there are shadows there. One of his shadows is in the implosion. Boom. What a highlight by the prod though. Shout out to the prod for showing that MP the King will be able to go down to the bottom lane with a diversion. He gets a little bit of pressure. Doesn't get the last minion wave. Minion doesn't get the cart, but that's pressure because now you have a minion crashing into the bottom lane. And if you're RSG Philippines, you're thinking, oh wait, the Hayabusa's here. Irad's gonna be clearing. Little do they know, MP the King is back. He long shadows back there. What a play by Blacklist International, and let's just play the sequence out. 5 versus 4, Irad's gonna be high, Nibor's gonna join in. Blacklist International though, dangerous spot. The Lord knocked up Oheb, knocked up Perks. Oheb's almost low here, but RSG Philippines just aren't completely in the position yet. Oheb gets to reposition with a flicker. Perks goes back to protect his back line. Lord JM protecting as well, dealing damage. MP the King has shadows in a key area where he can potentially steal the Lord and escape if he needs to, and has 2 shadows to escape. Play out the sequence. Wait, Light goes in. Misses everything. So now RSG Philippines will have to go back just a little bit, reposition, and be the King. Great spot. He has a wall protecting him. Another shadow goes in. Shadow kill to the back. Wait for Perks. Still holding on. Lord JM brought low. Or Light gets brought low. Diversion. Tempest of Blades by the Ling. Perks, I set. Jungle is who I wanna get. Bang. Flicker forward, dash. Unluckily for Aqua, he was right there where the Tigreal would end up. Stunned, implosion, Irad is down, Light is down, Aqua will go down, Blacklist International will get the Lord, and from that sequence, they got the win. A bit of a longer episode, but hopefully you enjoyed and learned a lot in this week's breakdown with Renmar. We have one more video coming up later this week, which is another fun facts video. I wasn't able to make one for week number 5, but we will be back for the week 6 fun facts. That is it. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.